Hi, my name is Dr. Rachel Geller, and I am a certified cat behaviorist, and I'm so happy to be here today with All About Cats. So, a lot of people are probably wondering what a certified cat behaviorist is and does. And what I do is I help to resolve problems between people and their cats and set them onto harmonious relationships together. So, I know many people look at the cute cat videos on the internet, and perhaps your cats aren't acting quite as cute as those cats that you see on the internet. So, if that's your problem, you have come to the right place. If your cat is having those out of box experiences or is creatively thinking out of the box, I'm here today to answer all of your questions. Um, so, as I said, I am a certified cat behaviorist. I'm also a fear-free shelter specialist, which means I consult with cat shelters specifically on how to create a environment for cats that is less stressful and more comforting for cats, because shelters can be stressful places. Um, I am also a humane education specialist, which means that I work with a lot of kids groups such as Girl Scouts and community service groups, and I teach young people empathy and compassion for animals. So, with that, I am ready to answer your litter box questions today. I know that for a lot of people, I think a lot of people look at the litter box and think, oh, really, how complicated can it be? It's just a plastic box with some sandy stuff thrown inside. But for your cat, it really does make a big difference. Her litter box is a big deal. And everything from the location of the box, the type of litter, the other cats in the household, the cat's relationships with other cats in the household can all affect litter box use. So it's really important that sometimes if you are having a litter box problem, to do some detective work. And you know, I like to call myself a little bit of a Sherlock Holmes, maybe a Perlock Holmes might be the right way to put it, to figure out litter box problems. So hi everybody, I see some questions coming in. I want everyone to forgive me if I'm not super smooth at this. This is the first time I've done something like this. So it's a little out of my kick zone, but I'm hoping to have fun and answer all of your questions at the same time. So is it fine to deep clean the litter box every 2 weeks? I guess it depends on how many cats you have and how many boxes you have. So I would recommend fully cleaning the litter box once a week. But I find some people who have maybe one cat and a few boxes can get away with doing it a little less often. But cats are fastidious creatures. Cats really like cleanliness. So the cleaner you can keep the box, the better off you're going to be in terms of litter box compliance. We have a family of 4 siblings and the mama cat. They all share one huge box and do fine with that. But I've often heard that they each need one. What do I do? So I usually suggest that you should always have one more box than the amount of cats you have. So if you have one cat, I always suggest 2 boxes. If you have 4 cats, I would suggest 5 boxes. Now, having said that, if your cats are all okay with that one big box, maybe just add one other box, because typically as cats get older, the relationship with their companion cats can change, especially between the ages of 2 and 4, which is when cats go through social maturity. So you might want to sort of preempt this and err on the side of caution and add another box or 2 to your household, just to be on the safe side. So let's see what else we are getting here. Why is my cat always licks herself after petted or picked up? She doesn't like to be picked up or touched most of the time. Well, that's not a litter box problem, but I can answer that anyway. Cats, as I said, are very clean creatures, and cats also live by scent and smell. Scent deposits and smells are very comforting to a cat, and cats like to be comforted. Cats like to feel like things are familiar. So if you have a cat who's maybe still getting used to you, or is a little skittish or is still bonding with you, it's a little bit of a comfort thing. So she's grooming herself. That gives her comfort. She's placing her scents on her own fur to make her feel, she's getting those feel-good pheromones on her fur. If she doesn't like to be picked up, I would say that's okay. There are a lot of cats who don't love to be picked up. If you want your cat to get used to being picked up, it's always best to do that gradually. So you never want to go from 0 to 60 when it comes to cats. So if you want your cat to get used to being picked up, start with picking her up just like an inch from the floor for a few seconds and put her back down. And when she gets used to that, you can pick her up a little higher and hold her a little longer. And then when she gets used to that, you can add maybe another inch and another 30 seconds to the process. So you see what I'm doing. This is a process called systematic desensitization, and it's a very fancy way of saying that you present the cat what she is afraid of so gradually and so incrementally that she gets used to it. Okay, why doesn't a cat cover its poop and what can be done about it? So cats who live outside and are very aware of invaders and opponents cover their poop because it's instinct and they want to be protected. They want to cover their tracks. They don't want to leave anything behind that a potential opponent or invader could smell and track them down. So a lot of indoor cats and especially domesticated cats don't have a strong need to do that anymore. If a cat is living indoors and a cat is domesticated and there isn't any wildlife inside, that cat's not going to have a major need to cover her tracks. So there's really nothing you can do about it, but more importantly, there's no need to do anything about it. Just scoop it out, toss it, and that's fine. And in her world, this is all perfectly normal cat behavior. It may not be that great and acceptable for you to see a big pile of poop, but just scoop it out and toss it. It's completely normal behavior for a lot of domesticated cats. Is door dashing normal? The caption says, ask anything, but it is only litter box questions. Okay, well, since I saw it and read it, we mostly wanted to be this for litter box, but I guess I can go rogue a little bit. So I want to be very, very clear that if your cat is door dashing, it's not because she's dying to go outside. A lot of people think, oh, that means my cat really wants to go outdoors. It's usually just a matter of curiosity, and it's a matter that you're leaving. So the solution to door dashing is to choose a greeting place that is away from the door. Choose a favorite napping spot in another room. Choose a cat tree in another room. Choose a window perch in another room. Point being, find some enticing and appealing spot that your cat likes, and we're going to make that the official hello and goodbye spot. And I want you to be consistent. So whenever you leave your house, you're going to say goodbye from this new spot that is away from the door. And whenever you come home, if she's at the door, you're not going to greet your cat there. You're going to go to the new spot and greet your cat there. So to help with the door dashing, we're just going to stop the associations with the door as the hello and goodbye spot and choose another spot. And you have to be really, really consistent with this, but that will really help a great deal. And the other thing is, don't make it a huge, big production when you're leaving or when you're coming home. So, when you're about to say goodbye, don't make it this, oh, bye, baby, and this tearful, woeful, oh, I'm going away type scenario. And by the same token, when you come home, don't go crazy. Keep it light, no big deal, and that will help a lot too. Cat meows before using the litter box. So cats meow to communicate to us. So if your cat is meowing before she uses the litter box, it's probably because she just wants us to know where she is, or she wants us to know that she's going to be doing something where she feels like she might be in a vulnerable position, or she wants to just communicate to us that she's about to go use the box. it's really normal behavior. There's a lot of cats who meow before using the box and cats who meow after using the box. So think about it the same way as if you're sitting at home, with your family, and you get up and you say, "Oh, I'm just going to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back." It's kind of like on that same thing. It's just a little method of communication. It's nothing to worry about. Okay. My two girls always greet me at the door and try to pick up smells outside. Yeah, I mean, if you don't have a door dashing problem, don't worry about it. But if you do, the suggestions I just talked about will really help with that issue. My cat never uses the litter box. The litter box is spot clean, and she never really uses it. Okay, if you have a litter box problem, what we really need to do, as I said at the beginning, is a little bit of detective work. The main causes for litter box aversion are the cat does not have a clear, clean visual field and location issues. So by clear visual field, this is what I mean. Your cat is in a very vulnerable position when she is in the litter box. The peeing or pooping position puts your cat in a vulnerable position. And cats instinctively are always worried about potential opponents or invaders. So when a cat is in her box, she wants to be able to see all the way around her. She always wants to be able to have ample visual warning time should an opponent or should an invader appear. So covered litter boxes will cause a cat not to use the box. If the box is pushed up against a wall, we know it's a wall, but to your cat, it's something blocking her view. If the box is wedged under a table, or wedged behind the toilet, or wedged under the sink, or stuck in a corner, all of these location issues are going to affect the cat's visual field, and this will cause her not to want to use the box. The other thing with location is many times people like basements, annexes, mud rooms, places that are kind of away from the family activity or the family hanging out places. But your cat doesn't want to go spelunking on an indoor hike just to go get to use her litter box. She wants a litter box to be convenient. So it's always best to have the box in a place that's not too far away from the family action. If you have stairs that the cat has to go up and down, some cats find that to be a harrowing journey because they know that if there was an opponent or invader to appear, there isn't a lot of potential for escape on a stairway. And I want to make a point really, really clear that these invaders or opponents can be real or imagined. It's an instinct that cats have. It's a feeling that cats get. So if you think about a covered litter box from the cat's perspective, not only can she not see all the way around her, but if an invader were to appear, the only means of escape would be right out into that invader's face. So that's not going to be very reassuring for your cat. So I see someone just asked, is it better to have a cover on your litter box or not to have one at all? So that I'm leading right into that right now. Uncovered litter boxes are really important for your cat. I know from a human perspective, we think about privacy, but your cats don't want privacy in the box. They want the opposite. They want to have a clear visual field. They want to have 360 degree vision all around them. They want to be able to see, if the litter box is in a room, they want to be able to see out that door and into the hallway. So that the more visual warning time you can give your cat, the better in terms of litter box compliance. Our kitten goes flipping and frolicking around in the fresh litter box. So this is called a dust bath, and it's another thing that's really common. I mean, from a human perspective, I know it seems a little weird because we probably wouldn't go jumping around in the toilet bowl. But from the cat's perspective, this is, again, normal cat behavior. So It is called a dust bath. It feels good to the cats. It can be soothing to the skin. If your cat has an itch, like the litter texture can feel really good on the cat's skin. It gives the cat kind of an opportunity to get kind of like sloughing off, like what we might do with some skin products. It feels good to their skin. It removes the dry skin. And then when they groom, they remove all of that dry skin. So I know from a human perspective, it does seem a little odd, but it's completely fine. It's safe and it's okay. I know it might make a little bit of a mess, so it may not be that acceptable to you, but it's okay and there's nothing wrong. My cat would get annoyed if there was even anything in the path to his litter box. Yes, cats want to be safely get to the litter box, and once they're done, they want to know they can safely escape from the litter box. And I definitely understand that thinking about escape after you have a poop or pee seems funny, but for a cat, it's really important in terms of their instinct. They do feel vulnerable when they're in there. They want to get out of there safely, and they want that journey to and from the litter box to be safe as well. And that's why sometimes you have to look, is there a big piece of furniture that could be blocking a view? As I mentioned before, stairways can be hazardous, from a cat perspective. So these are all things we really have to think about when it comes to litter box location. Using hands, kicking, play, biting, etc. You never want to use your hands to play with your cat because you never want to teach your cat that flesh is an okay toy. This might be cute and fun when the cat is a kitten, but this is a behavior that's going to be harmful and dangerous as the cat gets older. So never use your hands to play with your cat. Always use a fishing pole type toy. The benefit of the fishing pole type toy is, first of all, it's realistic to the cat because as opposed to solo toys, your cat has to be both the prey and the predator, which isn't very realistic and not that much fun. But with a fishing pole type toy, the string essentially becomes invisible once the game gets going and the cat can really focus on the toy, and you can move the toy in a way that really simulates prey. So remember, when you play with a cat, it's supposed to simulate a hunt. So you can, slither the toy around. Sometimes it's high, sometimes it's low, go hide around furniture. But also the wand always provides a very safe distance between your skin and the cat's teeth. So that is a major benefit to using a fishing pole type toy. I use open litter box now. I plan to get a hooded cat litter box. Our cat's comfortable with it. I would say please stay with your open litter box for the reason I discussed. A hooded litter box completely reduces the cat's visual field. So when she's in that box, she's not going to be able to see around her, and this could create a litter box problem. The other huge detriment to covered or hooded litter boxes is that they tend to hold in the moisture. And a lot of cats don't really like going into a dark, dank, damp litter box. It's just not that pleasant. So I really do suggest not to use a hooded litter box and not to use a covered box. Okay, when I use clay litter, my ZoZo would dig like a dog and fling litter everywhere. She would eat litter pellets and hide them. She is much better now with pretty litter. Oh, good, I'm glad. Sometimes it's a little bit of a matter of trial and error to find that you're a litter that your cat feels comfortable with. And just like people, cats have their certain preferences. There are different textures. Some cats' paws are more sensitive than others. Cats are very tactile animals, so the texture of a litter can make a big difference. And cats are very much animals that depend on their sense of smell. So also a cat might not like a particular additive or scent in a litter. So it can be a little bit of trial and error, but I do always recommend once you find a litter that your cat likes, just to stick with that because you don't want to create a problem that you don't already have. My cat peed in the toilet. He taught himself to do it somehow. Maybe he smelled urine in it. That's quite a feat. I know there are people who train their cats to not use the litter box and to use the toilet. Even if your cat is somehow trained to use the toilet, I always suggest making sure your cat uses the litter box as well. And the reason is your cat might someday need to go to the vet or be hospitalized. And cats who don't know how to use a litter box have a really difficult time when they are, hospitalized or at the vet, because obviously in a veterinary hospital or even in a vet office, the cat's not going to be using the human bathroom. So even if you have been able to train your cat to use the toilet, you really do want to always have litter boxes available. As a rule, I'm not a huge fan of that trick just because the cat could fall in. But, that's my opinion on that topic. But, for some reason, this is important to you and you want your cat to be trained in this way, make sure there is still a litter box offered for the cat, because you do want your cat to be used to the litter box. Is my female kitten following my other female cat to the litter box to watch her to show dominance, or do you think curiosity? So if you have 2 cats, I would recommend having 3 boxes, because competition for resources is one of the main causes of litter box problems. So one cat could be following the other cat to the box because of territorial issues. And litter boxes are territory and litter boxes are resources. So you could probably solve that problem by adding another box or 2. I'm guessing it's not curiosity. There's probably a reason for that. Cats are masters at subtle intimidation and posturing and letting other cats in the household know who is the higher status cat and who is the lower status cat. So I would just err on the side of caution in this instance and add another box. I have 3 boxes and they both choose to use the same one always. That's okay. Still keep the 3 boxes, because there are many things that make cats feel comfortable and in control. And having choices and options is one of them. So even if they don't use the other boxes, you're giving your cat that feeling of control and security, which is really, really important to the cat. You're letting your cat make the choice. And that is very comforting to a cat. So even though they're all using the same box, keep the other ones there for safety and security and for letting that cat make the choice of where she wants to use the box. What still amazes me is how a street cat came to the house to live with the nicest, sweetest guy. Yes, I mean, I have domesticated many a semi-feral and feral cat. And if you have the patience and the time to go through this process, I often find you will be richly rewarded. Many of these cats want to love, they just need to be shown how, but it's definitely a process. Okay, I think there's probably some questions on the Facebook page too. Cats and humans should not be using the same toilet. Yeah, as I said, it's not my favorite technique to teach cats. I know some people seem to like it, but I would recommend having the cats use the litter box. Let's see. Is it better for cats to eat from an elevated dish or plate for their posture and ergonomics, or is this irrelevant? I find that a little bit of elevation is a little more comfortable for the cat. It doesn't have to be really high, but a little bit off the floor, I think, is helpful. The other thing I think is really important is to make sure that you're not using something that's porous, because that can cause feline chin acne. So you want to make sure you use something that's non-porous, so bacteria doesn't get lodged in like something that's wood or plastic bowls can be a problem too. And also make sure the bowl is wide, or even use a plate, because if their whiskers are constantly touching the sides of the bowl, that can get to be uncomfortable for the cat as well. Okay. Um, Not sure if this has been addressed. My 18-month-old kitty gets in the box, poops, sometimes in, sometimes out of the box, does not cover, instead scratches the wall and box. Yes, I actually have a cat right now myself who will go in the box, which isn't too far away from, it's in a spare, one of my boxes in a spare bedroom, and the box is not too far away from where the comforter is, and also where a small dresser is. And he will scrape and clean and scratch the comforter, and then he'll go do the dresser, even though it's really not directly part of the box. So there are some, just like there are some cats who maybe don't cover up their tracks, their poop, because they're domesticated and they're indoors. And so they don't have that strong instinct anymore. You know, there is still that tie between domestic cats of today and outdoor cats of yore. And some cats still do have that very strong instinct to cover up every last little track. Especially you might find cats doing this if you have maybe large windows in your home and they can see other outdoor cats or wildlife. They might want to be extra careful to really cover every last track. So this is okay. If they're in the box and they sometimes miss and go out of the box, you can try a higher sided box, or I often suggest to people to put puppy pads around the box. So if you have some misses, they can easily be picked up and cleaned. Metal bowls for the cat, that's perfect. I think metal bowls are really, that's one of the safer options. You know, you can also use paper plates and things like that. My cat poops with one hand up. Is that something to be concerned about? He pees with both paws down, but only puts his hand up when he's pooping. It's, you know that expression, there's one in every crowd. It's probably just one of your cat's little idiosyncrasies, one of his little endearing little qualities, and it does not sound like anything to be worried about at all. For some reason, he did that at one point and it was comfortable, or he liked the way it felt, so he kept on doing it. But I would not worry about either of those behaviors. They sound completely normal and fine. And there are definitely cats who develop these little habits for whatever experience they have, and then they just keep on doing it. Cats are creatures of habit. Cats like familiarity. Cats don't like change. So if your cat does start doing something and it seems like it's going okay, then he probably will keep on doing that. Any tips to teach an outdoor cat to use a litter box at home? I place a litter box with unscented litter and mix near the place where she pees outside for a day, but she doesn't use it at all. The best way to get a cat used to using the box is to have that cat in a small room, preferably a room without anything absorbent in it. So like a room with linoleum flooring, or a room with wood floors, and have the litter box in that room. And this kind of forces the cat to use the litter box. If your cat is used to going outside, a litter that I would suggest is a litter called Cat Attract litter. It has a soft, sandy texture that I find a lot of cats like, but it also has herbs in it that entice the cat to venture into the box, and that will, you know, can help with getting the cat used to the box as well. But the best way to get a cat acquainted with the litter box is to have the cat in a small space with that litter box for, you know, a certain number of days, you know, until you see the cat using the box, because cats don't want to sit in their own pee. Cats are clean. So if that's the only option, that's kind of a way to get the cat to venture into the box. Let's see. High sides. So what basically, okay, I'm missing one. I'm trying to litter train my kitten. He pees on the floor by the front door. How can I keep him from peeing there? Okay, kittens should really start off in a very small room. If your kitten is exposed to too much territory at once, she's going to be completely overwhelmed. So I would start off your kitten in a teeny tiny room, like a small bathroom. I know from a human perspective, we wouldn't want to be in a small room all day, but new kittens feel very overwhelmed with too much territory at once. So you want to start your kitten off in a small room, and you can put a couple of litter boxes in there. Make sure they're uncovered. You can even try a variety of litters in case that makes a difference to your kitten. But a small room would be best. A tiny bathroom would be ideal, especially because there's a tile floor, and have maybe even one or two litter boxes in there. So small space. If you can't have a small space, if you don't have a room that's really small in your house, you don't have a small bathroom, you can even try a very an extra large dog crate and have the kitten in there for a little bit, and that can get her to use the box as well. Have the kitten in there with her litter box, her food, and her water, and that will get her use the box. But probably she's feeling a little overwhelmed with too much territory. Now, if you could also deter the kitten from the area that she's going in, you can put a deterrent down, such as double-sided tape. There's a product called Sticky Paws. You can put a scratching post there. So if your kitten hasn't been neutered or spayed yet and she's marking, she can mark via scratching rather than peeing. The other idea is you could put food in the area where she's going, because cats don't want to eat where they pee. So try those things with your kitten. So if you are sick, can your cat get sick too? I'm not a veterinarian. I'm a cat behaviorist, so I can tell you what I have been told from vets, or an advice given by the CDC in regards to the coronavirus. It's very rare for a person to transmit an illness to a cat and the other way around. But if you do have symptoms and you're going, I would recommend maybe not handling the food or touching your cat for a couple of days when you actually have symptoms, and that just to err on the side of safety. But that's medical questions like that, I would recommend talking to your veterinarian about. But my understanding is it's very rare for a human to transmit any type of human illness to a domesticated cat. Okay, a few people are asking about catnip. Yes, I mean, it's very individual cat to cat. There are some cats who go wild for it. You put some catnip down, or some fresh catnip especially, and, the cat goes crazy. And there are other cats who come over and they're like, oh, catnip, when's lunch? I mean, they couldn't care less. So it's very individual. We people are the same way. There are things that I enjoy and I go crazy for. And my friends look at me and they're like, really, you like that? So it's the same thing. It's very individual. If your cat doesn't like catnip, you could always try cat grass. Some cats like that as an alternative. And even fabrics like rope and sisal, some cats find very enticing as well. Okay, my male cat doesn't cover his litter, but will scratch on the sides of the box after he goes to the bathroom. Yeah, and again, this is completely normal. I know to us, we're looking and thinking like, buddy, you're kind of missing the point. But there are some cats who will just instinctively clean and scratch everywhere. And the other thing is, when a cat scratches the sides of the litter box, And most people know that they deposit their scents by rubbing on us and their scent glands around the chin and the face, but they also have feel-good pheromone scent glands in their paws. So oftentimes after they poop or pee, rubbing on the box also creates a feel-good, comforting, this is my territory, this is my safe spot feeling for the cat. So there's the covering of the poop issue, but there's also the pawing and scent depositing part of it as well. So there's a couple of reasons why they do that, and it's all fine. It's all individual to your cat, and it's all okay. I have none of these questions so far. I'm thinking, oh my goodness, is something really wrong with this cat? This is all pretty normal cat behavior. I think sometimes when you have a cat and they're doing something that isn't the usual that you've heard, you think it's a little weird, but as a cat behaviorist, I I I resolve between 900 and 1,000 cat behavior cases every single year. So I've pretty much heard it all. Nothing here that I've heard so far is disturbing me or causing me any alarm. So this is all good. Oh yes, we are going to be doing a whole series on all kinds of cat behaviors. We'll be doing aggression. We'll be doing redirected aggression, petting aggression. We will be doing introductions and reintroductions. It's all coming. My cat gets bored with his food quickly, and he's healthy, and his weight is fine. So this is again another personal cat preference. I've had cats who eat the same exact food for their entire lives, and I had one cat who was so picky that one time I bought the right brand and the right flavor, but it was the wrong texture. Like he likes chicken cuts, and I got chicken pate, and he wouldn't eat it. And then I have other cats that they like a flavor for a month and then they want something different. So this is okay. Just like people, there are some cats who like variety, and there's some cats who like to eat the same thing every day. I'm one of those people that could eat like the same 7 foods my entire life and be perfectly fine. I'm not super adventurous, and I'm a little bit of a picky eater. And then I know I have friends, when they're trying things that, I don't know, octopus or something that I probably wouldn't be eating. So, and probably some of you were thinking, "Ooh, I love octopus." So, I don't know, or tongue. Like, I don't like the idea of tasting something that can taste me back. But other people are like, "Ooh, it's a delicacy." So cats are the same way. They all have their own food preferences, and as long as they're eating and their weight is good and the cat is happy, the cat is using the litter box, the cat is grooming regularly, the cat is, seems happy, you're fine. My kitten jumps around the litter box, digs, jumps, and hops around some more before eliminating. Is there a reason for that? The litter boxes are cleaned daily. She's probably just having a little bit of fun, getting the idea of the litter, getting the texture, especially if she's a kitten and she's still getting used to this, and it's new and it's fun and it's exciting. And sometimes cats like to, and especially kittens, like to really find that perfect spot because they're kind of getting used to everything. So this is okay as long as she's using the box appropriately and going in the box, and you're fine. That's nothing to worry about. It sounds kind of cute, actually. In fact, my cat lived on Fancy Feast, ocean whitefish, and tuna her whole life. Yeah, I mean, there are some cats who can eat the same exact food and never get sick of it. And there are other cats who want like variety and a new experience every single day. So it's all very, very particular to your cat. Okay. One of my neutered male cats mounts my other neutered male cat and looks like he's trying to mate with him. Okay, so this kind of behavior, humping behavior, is usually the result of, most commonly, due to either anxiety or something neurological. You could also check and make sure your cat has been fully neutered and is not a cryptorchid cat, which means that there might still be some testicle left. But you would know that if the cat was also marking, or the pee would be really smelly. So this just sounds more like maybe the cat is anxious, maybe the cat is stressed, and this sort of falls under that balloon of redirected aggression. The best thing to do is when your cat goes to hump the other cat, you want to do something called distraction and redirection. So here's how this works. When you sense the cat is going to hump the other cat, usually when these things are going to happen, or you see him strolling over the other cat, I want you to distract the cat with a toy. A toy that makes noise would be perfect. A crinkly mylar ball, one of those fuzzy balls that when you shake it rattles inside. Something like that would be ideal. Distract your cat with the toy. When you do this, you shift your cat out of that anxiety mode, which is negative, into the hunter mode, which is positive. So we're going to shift your cat out of that anxious mode and into the positive mode of a hunter. Once we've done that, we're now going to conduct a little interactive play session with a fishing pole type toy. Play with your cat, intersperse the game with plenty of captures, because it's the captures that release the stress. It's the captures that make the cat feel good. It's the captures that release all of those feel-good chemicals. And then let your cat have one last final juicy capture that he can really sink his teeth into or sink his claws into, and follow that with a treat. So now you're really simulating that hunt, and he can have his feast after his successful capture. So the other cat remains safe. The cat who wanted to hump the other one gets to release all of his stress and anxiety. Everybody in your household wins. So the best way, to deal with this type of behavior is to give your cat a reason to like his new behavior. So this method works because when he doesn't go to hump the other cat, he's getting playtime, captures, time with you, attention, positive associations, and a little treat when he doesn't do that behavior. So it's a great method to retrain your cat to release his anxiety in a more positive way. Okay. Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad that you guys are enjoying this. Any other litter box issues that anybody wants to throw to me? Did I miss any? I hope I'm getting everybody's questions, because this is a new and exciting experience for me to be doing this live thing. Okay, of many cat litter, can you mention the options of dust-free litter you recommend? Dr. Elsys, Dr. Elsys makes a lot of unscented, really good dust-free litters. I really like the Cat Attract. Is probably one of my favorites because of that texture that it has. It really resembles what a cat would find outside. And I really like the way that it has the herbs to entice the cat into the box. Okay. So it looks like, I think I missed something from Sam about getting a friend for their cat. Whenever you want to adopt a second cat, you always want to make sure that you're matching cat personalities. And here, my cat has his brother and his mom with him. He constantly play fights with his mom and brother, and they get annoyed and become aggressive. So we separate them once this happens. Okay, this is a great opportunity to use the distraction and redirection method that I just talked about. The cat who is always play fighting, when he goes after the mother cat or the other cat, oftentimes he may not be getting enough stimulation in his life. So if the cat's only opportunity to get stimulation and to get captures and to stalk and pounce is with the other cat, that's what they're going to do. So it sounds to me like you have cats who need more play. So I really want you to beef up the playtime with your cats, and I want you to do it with a fishing pole type toy. So when I say play with your cat, that big basket of toys that you have sitting in your living room, or that pile of toys sitting, somewhere in your house, that's not what I mean by play. Throwing a bunch of solo toys on the floor isn't what I mean when I say play with your cat. I want you to be part of the game, and I want it to be realistic for your cat. Again, with the solo toys, your cat has to be both the predator and the prey. And it just doesn't do the job of releasing the tension and making the cat feel good the way playing with a fishing pole type toy does. So get out that fishing pole type toy, play with your cat for at least 10 to 15 minutes, have all kinds of captures. It's really important to have the captures. So many people think when they play with the game that the idea is to keep the toy away from the cat, but you really want to let the cat get the toy. You want to get to have the captures. So I want you to play with in this very specific way that I'm teaching you. It sounds like he has interactive toys, but I want you to play in this. I want you to get the fishing pole type toy. I want you to play in a way that he gets lots of captures. And I want to make sure that he gets one last final capture that he really gets to hold on to and follow that immediately with food. Most people don't do the final capture followed by food. And that's the most important part. When you have the hunting, pouncing, stalking, capturing, eating, you now place your cat into his natural hunt, eat, sleep, and relax cycle. And that's the piece you really need. That's a piece you really need to stop the play fighting with the other cats. And you need to be consistent. You need to do these play sessions with a fishing pole type toy twice a day and in conjunction with the distraction and redirection technique. So when you distract and redirect, you're going to suddenly conduct a little impromptu play session, multiple captures, final capture, food. So it has to be super, super consistent with doing that. You really need to simulate a hunt, and that includes a final capture with the food. And if you do this consistently, your cat will learn that it's a much more appealing alternative than going up after the other cat. Cats want to hunt. Cats expect to catch and kill when they hunt, and cats need to exercise their natural hunting muscles. So really try to fine tune your play, and you will see a difference with this behavior. Yeah, the covered litter boxes. I am not a fan, as I've said, about covered litter boxes. And some cats are afraid of those automatic litter boxes because they make a lot of noise. And I will say, if a cat is in the litter box and there's any type of scary noise, that could cause a cat never to use the litter box again. A huge example of this is people who put cat litter boxes in the basement near the laundry room. So if your cat is in the litter box and the spin cycle comes on, that could terrify your cat, and that would be a reason to prevent the cat from going back to that box again. So think about if the box is near, pipes, laundry noises, that type of stuff that can just happen suddenly with no warning can really be scary to a cat. Noises in general can be unsettling for a cat. They don't know what the noise is. They don't know if that was it or another noise is going to come again. It's very confusing and scary for a cat. So think about noise. Think about the fact that noise can be a cause for litter box aversion. There are a lot of human conveniences that can cause litter box problems. Plastic liners is another example of a human convenience that can cause litter box aversion. We like the plastic liners, right? Because you can just scoop it all up and toss it, and it's pretty easy. But the reality is that their claws can get stuck in that plastic, and also the urine can pool in those plastic liners. And if this is something where once it happens, the cat now develops a negative association with that box, and it can then be hard to get the cat to venture back in. I changed from a smaller covered box to a low entrance, larger uncovered box with high sides to help with the situation, but it's still hit or miss. You know, sometimes cats need a lower sided box too. Because if you think about it, like from a cat perspective, when they're in the box, they're only like a foot off the ground at the most, right? So a high-sided box can limit the cat's view and can make the cat feel too confined. So sometimes I find that if you have a cat who needs a lower sided box so the cat feels more comfortable being able to see over the sides, I'll often recommend those storage container boxes you can get like at the Container Store or something they're made to slide under your bed. They have low sides because they're made to fit under a bed. Toss the cover and voila, you have a perfect litter box. So something like that could be an option for your cat too, if the high sides are making a cat feel a little confined or closed in. Yes, if you have the Roomba next to the litter box and you have some brave and confident cats and they're doing okay, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So if you aren't having a problem, we don't have to create one. But there are many cats who just don't like those sudden movements. They don't like noise. Some cats are more sensitive or skittish than others. If you have brave, confident cats and they're not bothered by the noise, that's fine. I have one cat that, when there's a thunder and lightning storm, he is terrified. He goes and hides. He's shaking. It's so sad. And one of my other cats couldn't care less. So it's all very individual. But basically what I'm saying is if you are having a problem, look at those things. But if you're not, you're okay. Some people get a cat collar with a bell to prevent successful kills, but I'd ask Dr. Rachel if they're actually ethical. I think I missed the first part to that question. Is this if you have an outdoor cat? Perhaps. I wouldn't put a collar that's not a breakaway collar on an outdoor cat just because too many cats, the collars get stuck on things and it can be very dangerous for that cat. Is crystal litter or clay better? A cat seems to have trouble with crystal. It's not a matter of really better. It's a matter of what your cat likes and what your cat is going to use. If you were to ask me, what litter should I use, scented or unscented? I would say, the outdoors isn't scented. The outdoors isn't perfumey. So go with something unscented because it's going to be more natural to your cat. Having said that, I work with plenty of people who use scented litters and perfumey litters, and their cats like it just fine. So if your cat has trouble with crystal and your cat likes clay better and your cat is using the clay litter box, then go with the clay. Moved my cat's litter box once, refused to use it. Had to move it back to the same corner and she was back to using it, but I need to rearrange. Okay, this is a common problem because cats don't like change. And with litter box issues, it can be hard. So the best thing to do if you want to change the location of your cat's litter box is to leave the old one where it is for safety and security, and then put additional box in the preferred location. So keep the old litter box where it is, add a second box to the new location. Now with the old litter box, we're now going to gradually move it towards where the new litter box is, where you want that location to be. So just a few inches a day, take the old box, move it to the desired location, so just an inch or so at a time. So move it an inch towards the preferred location. Let the cat get used to it there. We'll make sure the cat is using the box. And when she's using the box, okay, then you can move it another couple of inches forward towards the preferred location. So with cats, you really have to always think gradual and incremental, because if you make a big change all at once, they're going to freak out, most cats. So get the second box, keep the old box, and slowly move that old box towards where you want her to be. You know, when it gets pretty close to the second box and she's using it, then you can take away the old box. Is it okay to replace the litter once every 2 weeks? My cat doesn't have a problem. I usually recommend once a week, but if your cat is fine and you know you maybe have one small cat in a nice big box and she's using it okay, then you know I'm not gonna be a big meanie and tell you that you have to change it more often. If your cat's using the box and she's okay with that level of cleanliness, you know, just be aware that maybe as she gets older, she might become more sensitive or more concerned about that. And you might have to, you know, clean it more often. But as long as you're scooping it every day, then, you know, if she's using it, then you're fine. So, I think we only have a few minutes left. So I think I should thank everybody for coming. And this was really fun. Thank you for all the really great questions. I really enjoyed doing this. There is going to be coming soon from All About Cats, the Cat Guardian Academy. And we're going to have all kinds of courses on cat behavior problems, cat behavior issues. The first course is going to be on the litter box. So I'm really excited that so many people came and asked litter box questions. And I think there's going to be a way that you can sign up for information about the courses. And it's going to be really great. You can take a course on a topic that you're interested in. You can take the whole thing. If you have a specific question, you can look it up. And a lot of you guys mentioned topics that you're interested in, which I'm so glad about that. I think the next one we're going to be doing is inappropriate scratching. So if you have a cat who is scratching everywhere except for that lovely scratching post that you bought for her, this course will be for you. And I'll guide you through the process of how to get your cat to scratch where you want your cat to scratch, on the post or on the pad, and not on your furniture or floors. So that's always a fun topic to do. And we will definitely be doing, you know, multi-cat households, cat-to-cat introductions, bringing a newcomer home if you already have a resident cat. There are so many juicy topics to get into when it comes to cats. So I'm really excited to be doing this with All About Cats. And it was really nice to meet you and see all of these really great questions. I don't think I got to all of them. It probably would have been impossible. But thank you for all the great questions that I got. There's probably going to be some way that I can follow up with questions that I didn't get to, and I'm happy to do that as well. I'm 100% here for you guys. So if we didn't get to everything, please let me know, and I will get to your questions eventually. And I'm really glad that everybody appreciates the nice work that All About Cats does, and I'm really happy to be part of All About Cats. So thank you, everybody, and have a great day.